Hey, my village, it's your Coach Mo. Now, this message is about mental health. I like to do a mental health check in every now and then. Y'all know mental health is my background, psychology, and it's very important to do a check in every now and then and check on your strong friends, because sometimes I'm that strong friend that wish someone would check on me. And it's sad that people write you off as like, oh, you're strong, you can deal with it. But we have our battles too. And this year is probably the most trying year for me and my mental health than ever. Um, I've been through some ups and downs. And I admit, sometimes I suffered in silence. Nobody knew. I was having my own little internal battles that I didn't even speak out on. But eventually, you break. I cried probably so much this year than my whole life. Just being emotional, going through depression, and just so many life changes. It's ridiculous. But you have to check on your strong friends. I'm going to tell you right now, I know a lot of women deal with this, and a lot of women, especially single moms, I know will suffer in silence and just be like, especially if you're that strong person, be like, I can handle it. I can handle it. I don't need help. It's not time to reach out to nobody. And you think you can handle it and deal with it on your own, but you're fighting a battle that's never ending because you don't know how to handle it. And the truth is, you do need help. You do need to humble yourself, be vulnerable, reach out for help. I always try to educate people on the options you have, because I met people recently where they were like on social media, and I'll come across a video and they're like, they're depressed, they want to end it all, their family don't believe them, or their family is not helping them because they're like, oh, you can get over it, stuff like that. Because some families are like that. They're like, oh, you're just going through a rough patch, you'll get over it, stuff like that. They brush it off, but you're really screaming and crying out for help. But nobody's listening, and that puts you even sink you deeper into that hole that you've been in. Um, Always assess yourself. There's options. I had one girl I tried to talk to and like pretty much talk off the ledge. Like, your life is not over. You're just going through something. Can you reach out to a therapist, a counselor, a coach? And she's like, I can't afford to right now. And I'm like, are you working? She's like, yeah. And me being former like in leadership and stuff like that, and being a former person that worked in HR, I would tell them, you have an EAP program, employee assistance program. Most people don't really ever use their benefits. Reach out to HR or your benefit department and see what your EAP includes. A lot of companies, every company that I worked for, have had where you get like between 5, sometimes 12 sessions a year for free. Like my last employer, it was 5 sessions per category. So if your category was you needed a trauma therapist, or a relationship, or for parenting, or for finances, or death, things like that, you had 5 free sessions per category. That you could speak with a coach, a therapist, a counselor. Some cases, if it got too bad, they would refer you to a psychiatrist, but nonetheless, you got 5 sessions per category per year. So January, the number starts over. So a lot of people would just never use it. And I used to push my employees, like, I used to tell them, here's the number to EAP, here's the company code. You give this to them when you call and get your session, especially during the pandemic when people were dealing with deaths and stuff. I'm like, you need a coach to help you, a grief coach. That's why I was trying to think of that word. People that have been through traumatic stuff, you go ahead and talk to the trauma coach. And a lot of times, if you have kids or family members that's on your benefits, they get those services too. Because I've used it. I've used it for my son. He's had a behavioral therapist. I've had a therapist. We both went through depression, especially during the pandemic. But we use those benefits. I make sure I use them every year. Even if I don't really feel like I need them, I use them just because I have it and it's there for you. It's no harm in just talking to somebody. It could be something simple that you're going through in life. No problem is too small. So check on your EAP benefits. That's important. Check on your strong friends. A lot of times, especially in my community, we ignore signs of depression in boys. I have a video that's so old. I'm gonna probably do one to tell you all the signs of depression, like in your kids and stuff like that. But we do this with men all the time, and I noticed this where we write off when a man is shut down or they stop speaking. We write it off as, oh, they're just being a guy. They just don't want to talk about it. No, he is fighting a battle inside, and you need to keep your foot on his neck. You need to keep talking to him. You need to be that support, be that backbone, because these men, I notice a lot are really struggling, but they suffer in silence more than us women. Us women, we have our silent cries, stuff like that, where we would cry in the shower, we'll be in the bathroom for any little second we get alone away from the kids. We might show those signs that we're going through something by just sitting in the car a little longer before going in the house. These are little signs that people just ignore and write off as, oh, da, 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 da. Especially with men, when they get quiet, they don't want to talk, they shut down, they're just in a cycle of just on autopilot. Talk to him, give him a hug, show him love. When he's ready, he will talk, but don't just ignore it and be like, oh, he just being a man. No, because men have higher suicide rate than women. We are strong. They're not as strong. They may be stronger physically, but mentally, no. They will off themselves, suffer in silence, and we never know what was wrong with them because they never talked about it, because nobody checked in on them, because they expect them to be strong and just deal with certain things. But they need our support more now than ever. Create a mental health plan. Like me, years ago, I created what I call a pick-me-up list. It's a guaranteed list that changes my mood no matter how I was feeling. I could have been crying, whatever. Sometimes the music make me cry, but in a good way, a spiritual way. And it's all gospel songs, of course, because that's my favorite genre of music that I listen to the most. But it's a pick-me-up list. It got Tasha Combs. It got so many people, Leandria, everybody that'll make me cry, literally. Pastor Mike Jr., Pastor Mike Todd, and it's just like so many, Mary, so many different songs that are guaranteed pick-me-up songs that will snap me out of whatever mood I'm in, whatever I'm struggling with. But make you a mental health plan. I have a ton of journals. Like I have books. I'm reading a book now. It Didn't Start With You: How Inherited Family Trauma Shapes Who We Are and How We End the Cycle. This is a really good book. But I also keep a journal with me as well. Like I always have a journal in case I need to pull over. Even while I'm driving, I'll pull over and write. But keep a mental health plan of what you would do to be able to get over certain things. It could be music. Music is my safe haven. Like it's my go-to thing no matter what. If I'm happy, if I'm sad, if I'm enraged, music will always, it's going to make me feel some kind of way, whether it's good or bad. But it's always been my go-to thing. But just check on your strong friends. If you're not okay and you just need somebody to talk to, you can reach out to me. I'll make time for you. We can text, whatever. Give you a virtual hug yourself. But just stay strong. I know right now it's really, really hard, especially in this economy where things are getting higher but pay, and we're being outmarketed with everything. People making life decisions at the gas pump or the grocery store, or whether to pay rent or feed their kids. Like the struggle is real. But just keep pushing on. Don't give up. And that's the message. Hopefully I hear from some of you guys. Until next time, Coach Mo out.